The stars stretched endlessly across the blackness of space, like scattered diamonds on a velvet cloth. Among them drifted the small human exploration ship, Horizon's Edge, silent yet confident. Gliding toward an uncharted planet in the remote Zarkan system, Captain Elias Harper stood on the bridge, his hands resting lightly on the console. His brown eyes scanned the data feeds, noting the unusual energy signatures coming from the planet below. The sensors were picking up technology that looked ancient but active, advanced enough to be dangerous if it fell into the wrong hands. "Captain," Lieutenant Mara Singh said, her voice steady, "our readings are consistent. The planet's surface shows traces of weapon systems long thought lost, but there are also signs of patrol's hostile alien activity." Harper nodded, his jaw firm. Humans were not the strongest species in the galaxy. In fact, most advanced alien civilizations considered them fragile and insignificant, but Harper had learned long ago that raw strength was only part of the story. Intelligence, strategy, and courage could turn the tide even against superior forces. "We move carefully," he said. "We do not engage unless we have to. Our priority is the tech. We're not here to fight. But if someone tries to stop us, they'll find we are not as weak as we look." Below, the planet burned in shades of red and gold. Vast deserts stretched for miles, broken only by jagged mountains and the occasional ruins of an ancient civilization. From orbit, it seemed desolate, yet the sensors betrayed hidden threats. The surface was alive with movement tracers of alien patrols that were far too advanced for casual explorers. Harper tapped the console. "Prepare the landing pods. Mara, I want a full scan of the area ahead. Any anomalies, any traps, I want them detected before we touch down." Mara's fingers danced across the interface. The pods would drop them in a semi-controlled descent, allowing the team to avoid detection as much as possible. The humans were small compared to the alien patrols, but their smallness could be an advantage. Stealth, patience, and careful observation were their allies. Within hours, the Horizon's Edge entered the planet's thin atmosphere. Heat shields flared, and the pods detached, streaking down through the crimson sky like shooting stars. Harper felt the familiar thrill of a landing, tempered with caution. "Touchdown in 30 seconds, he announced. The ground grew larger in the viewport, a mosaic of orange sand and black rock. As the pods landed, dust billowed in clouds, hiding their presence for a moment. Harper and his team emerged, weapons at the ready, but weapons were only one part of their plan. They moved quietly, scanning with portable sensors. It was then that Harper first noticed her Kaylara, the alien warrior. She appeared from the rocks like a shadow made solid, her armor gleaming in the harsh light. Her posture was rigid, confident, and utterly fearless. Harper's pulse quickened, but his expression remained calm. He had faced many dangers, but the reputation of this species preceded her. The Zarkesh were elite warriors, unmatched in combat speed, strength, and strategy. And Kaylara, their princess, was known across multiple star systems as unbeatable. "You are humans?" she asked, her voice melodic but sharp, carrying the weight of authority. "What are you doing on Zarkesh soil?" Harper raised a hand slowly, in a gesture of respect. "We are explorers. Nothing more. We mean no harm." Kaylara's eyes narrowed, analyzing him. "Explorers," she repeated. "You are weak. You cannot survive here. I should destroy you now," Mara whispered to Harper. "She's sizing us up, like predators do to prey." Harper's lips curved into a faint smile. "Then she doesn't know who she is challenging," he said softly. Kaylara stepped closer, the ground vibrating slightly beneath her armored boots. She radiated confidence and power, every movement precise and deadly. She raised a hand, a warning that her patience was thin. "One wrong move, human, and you will regret it. You cannot last a minute against me." Harper met her gaze steadily. "Then I guess we'll see." The words surprised her. She had expected fear, not defiance. Yet he spoke them without arrogance, without bluster, calmly, deliberately. It was unusual, even for humans, and it caught her attention. Kaylara lunged first, her speed blinding, like a streak of silver against the red sands. Harper rolled aside, narrowly avoiding her strike, his mind calculating each movement, each shadow, each possible outcome. He could not match her in raw strength, but he could outthink her, outmaneuver her, and use the environment to his advantage. The duel was brief but revealing. Harper used loose rocks, sandstorms, and clever feints to survive Kalara's attacks. Every move she made, he countered with ingenuity, forcing her to pause, reassess, and then strike again. "You are clever," Kalara said, her voice a mix of irritation and intrigue. She had never encountered a human who could avoid defeat with such skill. Most prey species froze, ran, or begged for mercy, but this one danced around her strikes with calculated precision. Harper did not speak, only focused on the terrain. He knew patience was his strongest weapon. One wrong judgment by her, and he could turn the tide, even slightly, in his favor. As the sun dipped lower behind jagged mountains, the fight slowed. Kalara realized that brute force alone would not win this encounter. Harper was human. Yes. But he was not ordinary. He thought, adapted, and acted with calm, focused qualities rare even among seasoned alien warriors. "You are persistent," Kalara admitted. "I will not underestimate you. But the duel is not over. I challenge you properly to the arena. There, your tricks will not save you. There, you will face me one-on-one." Harper considered her words. The arena would be dangerous, yes, but it was also an opportunity. If he could survive, he could gain her respect, and maybe even secure leverage for his team. "I accept your challenge," he said. Kalara's eyes sparkled, not with malice, but with interest. "Very well, human. Prepare yourself. You may be clever, but cleverness alone will not save you from Zarkesh's strength." The humans withdrew to a safer distance, but the tension lingered like electricity in the air. Harper's team gathered around him, their expressions a mix of fear and determination. They had faced danger before, but Kalara's reputation was legendary. "We survive this. We get the technology. And we prove humans are not weak," Harper said quietly, almost to himself. His mind raced through every scenario, every tactic, every possible outcome. Humans had never been known for their strength in the galaxy, but they had something no other species could claim: the ability to adapt, to improvise, and to endure. As night fell over the red desert, the stars above mirrored the fires of the human spirit below. The stage was set. A duel unlike any other in the galaxy was about to begin, and neither Harper nor Kalara fully understood the lessons they were about to learn, not just about combat, but about courage, ingenuity, and the surprising power of a species long underestimated. Harper looked at Kalara from a distance, noting her stance, her confidence, her focus. "She thinks she knows what humans are capable of," he murmured. "She has no idea." For the first time, Kalara paused, sensing the quiet strength radiating from the human captain. There was something in him, something unusual, something that no alien warrior she had ever faced could explain. And that thought, simple as it was, made her curious and wary. The duel would test more than strength. It would test intelligence, courage, and heart. And in that moment, the galaxy seemed to hold its breath, waiting for the clash of two worlds: the human who dared, and the alien who thought herself unbeatable. The arena was unlike anything Harper had ever seen. Carved from the jagged rock of the planet, it spiraled upward like a crown around a sunken pit. The walls glimmered faintly with strange bioluminescent crystals, casting shadows that flickered like flames. This was a place designed for combat, for warriors to prove themselves and for challengers to either rise or fall. Harper stood at the entrance with Kalara facing him across the pit. The alien princess's armor gleamed under the alien light. Her stance perfect. Her focus absolute. There was no arrogance now, only calm confidence. Harper's team watched from the sidelines, hidden in observation alcoves, prepared to act if the duel turned deadly. "You understand the rules," Kalara said, her voice firm. No outside interference. This is a test of strength and skill. One victor emerges. Fail, and you will bring shame to your species. Harper nodded, keeping his own voice even. Understood. I accept your challenge. The ground trembled slightly as Kalara raised her weapon, a sleek, crystalline blade that pulsed with energy. Harper held only a small plasma baton, lightweight but practical. The difference in their strength was obvious, yet Harper did not flinch. He had no intention of winning through brute force. His mind was already racing, calculating every possible move, every opening in the alien's defense. The duel began with a rush. Kalara moved faster than the eye could follow, striking in arcs that could slice through metal. Harper ducked, rolled, and leapt, barely avoiding each strike. Sparks flew as her blade met his baton, the sound sharp and metallic. You are persistent, Kalara said through gritted teeth. But persistence alone will not save you. Harper's heart pounded, but his mind remained clear. He noticed patterns in her attacks, small tells in the way she moved. Each strike followed a rhythm, a beat that he could anticipate. He used the arena to his advantage, kicking up sand to obscure her vision, leaping onto rocks to change angles, and dodging her energy strikes with careful timing. Minutes passed, and Kalara's strikes began to miss more often. Harper's counters were clever, unexpected, and effective. She had never faced prey that did not run, that did not panic, that could think under pressure. You are unusual, Kalara admitted, lowering her blade slightly. No human has ever fought like this. I expected fear, not cunning. Harper dodged another strike and moved closer. Humans survive by thinking, by adapting. Strength is only one part of the battle. Kalara's eyes narrowed. Then, prove it. They circled each other warily, neither committing fully, both waiting for a mistake. Harper studied the arena carefully. He noticed a loose section of rock above one wall, suspended like a knife's edge. If he could dislodge it, he could create a distraction, perhaps even turn the environment to his advantage. Kalara attacked again, her strikes faster, sharper. Harper rolled beneath her blade, narrowly avoiding the lethal sweep. With a swift motion, he kicked a nearby rock into the air, aiming it at the crystal above. The impact caused the section to tremble. Kalara's focus wavered for just a fraction of a second. Enough for Harper to slip behind her. You rely too much on tricks, Kalara snapped, spinning to face him. I rely on thinking, Harper countered. And thinking wins where strength alone fails. Their battle continued. A mix of agility, strategy, and instinct. Harper was human, yes. And his body was weaker, slower, and more fragile than Kalara's. But his mind compensated. He anticipated her attacks, predicted her movements, and used the arena itself as a weapon. Every rock, shadow, and crystal became part of his plan. Kalara grew frustrated. She had never been forced to adapt mid-combat. Her usual opponents fell quickly, their fear making them predictable. Harper, however, was unpredictable, clever, and resilient. Each time she struck, he survived, and each survival chipped away at her certainty. You are clever, she admitted between strikes, her tone grudging. Your species has qualities I did not expect. Harper dodged another strike and responded with a small pulse from his baton, a non-lethal energy burst that caused her to stumble slightly. He did not aim to harm but to create an opening. Kalara regained her footing instantly, glaring at him with renewed determination. You are not just clever, she said, voice low. You are dangerous. The duel reached its peak as Harper led Kalara toward the edge of the arena pit. The crystals above reflected their movements in dazzling patterns, making it difficult to track each strike. Harper's mind raced, calculating every probability. One wrong move could mean defeat. One right move could turn the battle in his favor. Kalara struck with a flurry, faster than ever. Harper ducked, twisted, and then timing everything perfectly, he triggered the section of rock above them. A cascade of smaller rocks tumbled down, forcing Kalara to leap to avoid being crushed. For the first time, she had to focus on survival rather than attack. Harper seized the moment. using the distraction to roll behind her and land a light, precise strike with his baton, not to harm, but to unbalance her. Kaylara stumbled. And for the first time in her life, she realized that she was being challenged, not just physically, but mentally. "You are remarkable," she admitted, panting slightly. Her pride wrestled with surprise. Humans were supposed to be weak, fragile, and expendable. Yet here he was, outsmarting her, surviving her deadliest attacks, and forcing her to think in ways she had never imagined. Harper did not respond with words. He focused on the fight, maintaining balance, watching for the next opening. He knew the duel was far from over. Kaylara's skill was unmatched, but her confidence was her vulnerability. Harper relied on observation, patience, and timing qualities humans had honed over millennia. Minutes turned into an hour, and the intensity of the battle grew. Sweat, dust, and energy pulses filled the air. Harper's movements were precise, calculated, and careful. Kaylara's attacks were rapid, lethal, and powerful. Yet neither could claim victory, not yet. Finally, Harper saw an opening. Kaylara's stance shifted ever so slightly, a subtle misalignment caused by her earlier stumble. With careful precision, he used his baton to redirect her next strike toward the arena wall. The force caused part of the wall to crack, sending a shower of small crystals into the air. Kaylara was momentarily blinded. Harper acted immediately, moving close and lightly tapping her shoulder with his baton, not to harm, but to show he could reach her. Kaylara's eyes widened. She realized she had underestimated humans. They were not strong, yes, but they were resourceful, resilient, and daring. "You are different," she said quietly. Her pride mingled with admiration. "No one has fought me like this." Harper finally spoke, his voice steady despite the exhaustion in his muscles. "Humans survive because we adapt. We think. We endure. You may have strength, but we have persistence, and that is just as powerful." For a long moment, they stood facing each other. The arena silent, except for the hum of their breathing and the distant echo of falling crystals. Kaylara lowered her blade slightly, her mind racing. She had expected fear, weakness, and surrender. Instead, she found courage, intelligence, and ingenuity. "This duel is not over," Kaylara said, though her tone lacked its earlier confidence. "But you have shown me something I did not expect. Perhaps humans are more than I believed." Harper nodded, wiping dust from his face. "And you have shown me that even the strongest warrior can learn and respect the cleverness of others." The duel ended not with a victor in the traditional sense, but with mutual understanding. Harper had survived, proven human ingenuity, and earned the grudging respect of an alien warrior who had never underestimated anyone until now. As they walked from the arena, Harper glanced at Kaylara. She was silent, contemplative, and for the first time, uncertain. He had not only survived her attacks but had forced her to see humans differently. "Your species might have potential," Kaylara admitted softly. "Potential I did not expect to exist in beings so small and fragile." Harper allowed himself a small smile. "We surprise more than anyone expects." The sun set over the red desert, painting the arena in fiery shades of orange and gold. Both human and alien knew that this encounter was only the beginning. There were greater challenges ahead, threats that neither could face alone. And if Harper had learned anything in his life, it was that humans survived and thrived, not by relying solely on strength, but by thinking, adapting, and refusing to give up. Kaylara looked at him once more, her eyes reflecting something new. Respect, curiosity, and perhaps even a hint of camaraderie. Harper felt the tension ease, knowing that while the duel had ended, a partnership fragile but possible was forming between two very different species. The galaxy beyond the arena was vast, full of dangers far greater than any single duel, and Harper, the human who had dared, was ready to face them all with ingenuity, courage, and the indomitable human spirit at his side. The arena lay quiet now, its crystals still glowing faintly under the twilight sky of the alien planet. Harper and Kaylara stepped out together, their breaths still heavy from the duel. The humans had survived the impossible, and Kaylara, the legendary alien warrior princess, had finally acknowledged the strength of a species she had long underestimated. But there was little time to celebrate. The sensors that Harper had brought with him began to beep frantically. On the console, a new reading flashed: a massive fleet of alien warships, faster and stronger than any forces either Harper or Kaylara commanded, was approaching the planet at alarming speed. "Not just patrols," Harper said, his voice tense but calm. "These are warships, hundreds of them. They're coming here for the technology." Kaylara's eyes narrowed. "Impossible. No fleet moves this fast without alerting the Empire. They must be rogue invaders. We cannot fight them alone." "Nund," Harper nodded, understanding immediately. This was the moment where humans proved that their value went beyond individual strength. "We have to combine our forces. Human strategy, plus your warriors, can hold them off." Kaylara hesitated, pride warring with practicality. She had been trained to fight alone, to rely on her superior skill, to expect others to falter, but Harper had shown her that teamwork, clever planning, and courage could match even the deadliest power. "Very well," she said at last. "We prepare, but you must follow my lead in combat." Harper smiled slightly. "And you follow mine in strategy. Deal?" Kaylara's lips twitched, almost a smile. "Deal." Preparation for battle. Over the next few hours, Harper and Kaylara coordinated their teams. The humans brought ingenuity, portable shields, decoy drones, improvised traps, and knowledge of tactics honed through countless simulations. Kaylara's warriors brought raw power, energy weapons, and combat expertise unmatched by anything humans had encountered. Together, they mapped the desert terrain, setting ambush points and fallback positions. Harper directed teams to use natural rock formations as cover and energy-dampening crystals to hide from sensors. Kaylara trained her warriors to move in ways humans could predict and coordinate with, blending raw strength with strategy. "You are quick to adapt," Kaylara admitted as Harper explained his plan to create layered defenses using both species' strengths. "I see now why humans survive," Harper nodded. "We survive because we refuse to give up, and we never stop thinking. Today, your warriors and ours will both need those skills." As night fell, the fleet appeared on the horizon, a dark shadow against the stars. Hundreds of ships descended, weapons glowing ominously, their engines filling the air with a low hum that vibrated through the planet's surface. The humans and Kaylara's warriors waited, hearts pounding, ready for the fight of their lives. The battle begins. The first wave of ships landed near the rocky ridges. Kaylara's warriors charged, their energy blades cutting through enemy drones, while Harper's team used tactical traps and clever maneuvers to disrupt the attackers. Humans darted between rocks, leapt over sand dunes, and used decoy drones to mislead the enemy. Kaylara moved like a force of nature, her speed and strength unmatched. She deflected enemy blasts, redirected attacks, and inspired her warriors to fight with precision. Harper, though smaller and weaker, coordinated counterattacks, predicting enemy movements, and turning the battlefield into a trap for their enemies. "You're everywhere at once," Kaylara shouted, briefly impressed by Harper's ability to be in the right place at the right time. "I told you," he said, ducking behind a rock to avoid an energy blast. Humans survive by thinking ahead. The battle raged, a blur of light, sand, and energy. Ships crashed, drones exploded, and the desert shook with the force of combat. Harper and Kaylara moved seamlessly between offense and defense, humans and aliens learning from each other, adapting on the fly, turning the tide. The enemy commanders, though powerful, had underestimated the collaboration between human cunning and alien skill. Harper devised a risky maneuver, using the crystals in the arena to create energy reflections that would confuse the enemy sensors, giving them a momentary advantage. Kaylara's warriors provided the cover needed to set the plan in motion. "Now," Harper yelled. The crystals reflected blinding energy pulses across the battlefield, causing the enemy to hesitate, misfire, and collide with each other. Taking advantage, Kaylara led a strike team into the heart of the enemy formation, cutting through the invaders with precision and power. Harper and his human team executed flanking maneuvers, targeting supply lines, and using improvised traps to destroy key enemy vehicles. The humans' ingenuity complemented Kaylara's raw strength, creating chaos in the enemy ranks. For the first time, the enemy seemed disoriented. They had expected easy victory, but they faced something they had never encountered. A human-led force capable of thinking faster than they could react, paired with warriors who could strike with deadly precision. Climax of the battle. Hours passed, and the battle reached its peak. The invaders regrouped, sending a massive ship armed with a destructive energy cannon toward the central forces. Harper realized that if this cannon fired, both humans and Kaylara's warriors would be wiped out. "We need a diversion," Harper yelled to Kaylara over the comms. "I'll lead the strike team," she said. "You guide the humans. We hit together." With synchronized precision, Kaylara charged toward the ship, deflecting enemy attacks and drawing attention. Meanwhile, Harper and his team moved through hidden paths, sabotaging the ship's energy core with makeshift devices and careful timing. The plan worked. The cannon failed to fire, and Kaylara's strike team delivered a final blow, sending the ship into a controlled crash. The remaining invaders, shaken and demoralized, began to retreat. Victory was not complete, but the threat was neutralized. Harper and Kaylara had turned what seemed impossible into a triumph, proving that humans and aliens could overcome overwhelming odds together. Aftermath and respect. As the smoke cleared, Kaylara approached Harper. Her armor was scratched, her breathing heavy, but her eyes were full of respect. "You have proven more than skill or strength," she said quietly. "You have proven that humans can survive and even lead against impossible odds. I misjudged your species. I see now that persistence, intelligence, and courage can rival any weapon." Harper nodded, tired but satisfied. "And I've learned that strength alone is not enough. Your warriors are incredible. Together, we can accomplish far more than either of us could alone." Kaylara's lips curved into a rare smile. "Perhaps the galaxy underestimated humans. Perhaps we should no longer do so." Harper glanced at the stars. The battle was over. But the war for the galaxy was far from complete. New challenges, threats, and discoveries awaited. Yet he felt a sense of pride in humans, in their ingenuity, their courage, and their unbreakable spirit. Building alliances. Over the next days, Harper worked with Kaylara to establish communication networks, alliances, and plans to defend against future attacks. Humans and aliens trained together, shared knowledge, and discovered that cooperation was far more powerful than isolation. Kaylara, once a warrior who relied solely on strength, now saw value in intelligence, strategy, and teamwork. Harper, once a human considered fragile by the galaxy, now had allies who respected and trusted him. "This is only the beginning," Harper said one evening, looking at Kaylara. "We can build something greater than either species could alone. A force that can protect the galaxy not with fear, but with courage, skill, and respect." Kaylara nodded. "And perhaps, one day, humans will be known not just for survival, but for leadership, strategy, and honor." The stars stretched endlessly above them, and Harper knew that humanity had taken its first step toward true recognition among the stars. The galaxy had underestimated humans once, but never again.